Hey pizza lovers, are you ready for an amazing opportunity that combines your love for pizza with the chance to win big? Click the link in the video description now and take our survey for your chance to enjoy free pizza for a year and a complimentary Visa gift card.
REX Heuermann's children are continuing to stand by their accused serial killer father after he was indicted in the murders of two more women on Long Island, their lawyer says. Heuermann, 60, appeared in court on Thursday morning and was charged with the 1993 murder of Sandra Costilla, 28, and the 2003 killing of Jessica Taylor, 20. The former architect was tied to both crime scenes through DNA from a male hair found on the women's remains, court documents state. The latest charges come days after investigators searched Heuermann's home in Massapequa Park for a second time in 12 months. Prosecutors revealed Thursday they'd discovered a series of horrifying planning documents on a hard drive in Heuermann's basement that he allegedly used to map out his kills and plot how he'd dispose of remains. Investigators believe some of the murders took place inside the home while his family was out of town, the documents show. Des Mitev, a lawyer for Heuermann's adult children Victoria Heuermann and Christopher Sheridan, said his clients are currently weathering an incomprehensible storm in the face of the latest allegations, but they will not rush to judgment. They remain courageous in the face of unimaginable adversity, and they are along for the dark ride, one might say, shared Mitev. Nonetheless, they're two young adults that have done nothing wrong, and they're trying to keep their lives from completely crumbling in the midst of all this. Mitev declined to comment on whether Victoria and Christopher have read the full extent of the evidence against their father in the deaths of Costilla and Taylor. He added that nothing has changed in his clients' desire to attend their father's forthcoming trial and hear the evidence for themselves. There's a quantum leap between allegations and a conviction, as any criminal defense attorney will tell you, so whether it's 1 or 100 charges, they're still allegations. They're not going to get carried away or swept along in the court of public opinion. They're going to wait until this case is determined by a jury and a judge inside the four walls of the courtroom. Sandra Costilla's mutilated remains were uncovered in the woods of Southampton, New York, on November 20, 1993. The Trinidad and Tobago native was strangled to death and left partially clothed. She suffered numerous sharp force injuries to her face, torso, breasts, and genitals. Taylor, meanwhile, was a sex worker in Midtown Manhattan who vanished on July 19, 2003. Her severed torso was discovered a week later in Manorville, New York, and her skull, hands, and forearm were recovered 8 years later on Gilgo Beach in March 2011. Taylor's remains were found on the same road where the bodies of the Gilgo Four, Melissa Barthelemy, 24, Megan Waterman, 22, Amber Lynn Costello, 27, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 25, were discovered bound and wrapped in burlap in late 2010. Heuermann was charged with first-degree murder in connection with the deaths of the Gilgo Four last year and is now facing 6 counts of murder in total. In the months after his arrest in July 2023, investigators extracted data from over 350 electronic devices found at Heuermann's home, according to court documents. From that search, investigators unearthed a collection of violent, bondage, and torture pornography that dated back to 1994. Heuermann is accused of accessing sickening pornographic images including breast mutilation, vaginal torture, sex substitution, sexualization of decapitated women, bondage and whipping. Investigators said many of the images on Heuermann's hard drives align with how the remains of Costilla and Taylor were discovered. Also unearthed from an old hard drive was a Microsoft Word document titled HK 2002-04. Prosecutors believe Heuermann used the file as a planning document in which he'd plan out his alleged kills and brainstorm issues he may encounter while trying to cover his tracks. The document was divided into 4 sections: problems, supplies, TGR, which prosecutors believed to be potential targets, and DS, believed to mean dump sites. Investigators believe the information guided Heuermann on issues like evading apprehension, what supplies are needed to carry out serial murders, and how to avoid leaving DNA evidence behind. The chilling document also notes that small is good for potential victims, and includes a 3